Are you on the grind? Are you working your business intentionally? Is this something that you hear very often from your peers? It's time to grind. It's time to get on the grind. What does that mean exactly? Let's talk for a few minutes about identifying what the grind is and then focusing on how to make sure that you are intentionally doing that as opposed to the distraction of focusing on things that you are more comfortable with. My name is Sherry Swift, and I am the performance coach. I am a leadership coach. I am a coach that is designed to help people to grow to their next level, and I have been executing this effort for over 20 years. So what we're going to talk about here today is what it is to actually grind, to perform repetitive tasks over and over to attain a goal. I have this over my desk on purpose for a reason, because that is how we create an intentional outcome, is to grind. So let's talk about it for just a few minutes. Please do me a favor and hit subscribe and follow and turn on the notifications so that when I am in this space, you'll know to meet me here. And let's talk about growth. Let's talk about intention. Let's talk about recovery. Let's talk about lead generation. Let's talk about script and dialogue. Let's talk about building yourself from the inside out. But today, let's talk about the grind. A lot of people think that they're on their grind and they'll do it for a short season, for a short period of time, until they become discouraged and they don't get what they were hoping for or get what they expected from their efforts. So they quit and they interrupt themselves. It's important to understand that in order to get any desired result, there is a consistency that is necessary. And the only thing that is really interrupting you is you. Today, let's talk about the grind. Let's talk about what exactly is the grind for you. Your grind is the consistency of doing an action over and over and over and over again, trusting and knowing that there is going to be an end result. The problem is that we are consistently interrupting ourselves, and we have such a short bandwidth with tolerance and patience that when we get to a place where we are actually just about to experience the overflow of the pipeline filling, we stop and we interrupt ourselves. So I want to talk about for a second, I want to talk about the grind and what exactly that looks like for you as an entrepreneur, as a realtor, as a business owner. What does that look like, and how do you commit yourself to the grind on a day-to-day basis? You know, the grind has everything to do with what time you wake up in the morning. Are you waking up early enough to give yourself a head start? One of my favorite books in the world is The Morning Miracle, and I am absolutely certain that there are hundreds and thousands of other people that feel the exact same way. The understanding that if we wake up early enough, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, and we give ourselves a little bit of time before everyone else has an opportunity to get to you, that there is so much value in that opportunity. So what time are you waking up in the morning so that you can actually grind intentionally? Before you get into the grind, you've got to give yourself a little bit of space to be who you are and to fill your own bucket. Next, let's talk a little bit about what is the first thing that you do when you arrive in your space where you are executing your skill set. Whether your space is in an actual physical office like I'm sitting in today, or whether your space is just a corner in your bedroom, a corner in your living room, whether you have an actual office in your home, creating a space where you feel comfortable and confident working in, you've been able to kind of separate out yourself from other things like your dog and your cat and your television, but you can focus on what it is that you need to do today. Do you have a space like that where you're able to focus? And what time have you committed to yourself that you are going to be butt in chair in that space every day? And then when you're butt in chair in that space, what is the first thing that you do every day in order to create intention in your grind? You know, what is the thing that you do every single solitary day? Do you start out by saying, I'm going to call 10 people today before things start reaching to me? I'm going to call 10 of my past customers. I'm going to call 10 for sale by owners. I'm going to call 5 expireds. I'm going to call through my database. It is the repetition of that activity that creates the opportunity. Do you know that in order to consistently create repetition, you have to turn off distraction? In order to focus on your grind, you have to turn off distraction. It's not about everyone being able to reach to you whenever they're in the mood to speak to you. You have to turn off those notifications. You have to turn away from something to turn towards something else. How are you doing with that? And then finally, let's talk a little bit about why the necessity for the grind. There is a goal that you are hoping to attain. If you measure on a very regular basis how far you've come from where you started, then it will be easier to stay on the focus. It will be easier to stay on track. You won't be so easily distracted because you will be able to measure from where you've come to where you're going. It doesn't necessarily always look like the outcome. It doesn't necessarily always look like your gateway. Sometimes it just looks like progress. Maybe what we should become more effective at is measuring progress over perfection. Maybe what we should become more effective at is measuring where we've come from, as opposed to just looking for the absolute desired destination. Then we won't be so distracted by just hitting that desired destination. You got to commit to the grind. You have to understand that the grind is the actual habit that you exercise on a day-to-day basis. It's not ever going to stop. This is just what you do now. It is just who you are. So maybe if you stop making such a big deal out of the fact that you are grinding right now, but you just kind of turn it into, this is who I am, this is what I do every day so that I can be who I've decided that I want to be. Listen, I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I want to encourage you once again to subscribe and follow. I can't wait to be in this space with you. Make it a magnificent week again, and subscribe and follow. And remember, no matter where you are in the world or in the week, I am here as a resource for you. Don't forget to subscribe. Can't wait to see you next week.